Hi, everybody. I'm Akshata Kakade, the 2023-2024 support chair of the NCSU chapter of the Helping Hand Project. Today, I and the rest of my support team will be giving you a sensitivity training on how to interact with members of the upper limb difference community.
According to the CDC, approximately 1,500 children are born with upper limb differences each year, and more than 32,500 children experience a major amputation in the U.S. Limb differences are described as the partial or complete malformation of the limbs. Congenital limb differences are present at birth, while acquired limb differences occur after birth because of a trauma, illness, or amputation.
Next up, we have some terms for you to use to describe a limb difference. You can only use these terms in the context of a project. Please do not use these terms to diagnose an actual kid when interacting with them. These terms are the residual limb, which refers to the remaining part of the limb, and it's also called the stump sometimes. Aphalangia is the absence of fingers or toes. Syndactyly occurs when an individual has webbed fingers or a webbed thumb. Brachydactyly is a short finger or thumb. Symbrachydactyly is an underdeveloped hand with central finger deficiencies. Adactyly is the congenital absence of one or more fingers or toes. Camptodactyly occurs when the fingers are bent or cannot fully straighten. Clinodactyly is the curvature of the finger or thumb towards adjacent fingers. Ectrodactyly is the partial or total absence of central fingers. And polydactyly occurs when an individual has more than the normal number of fingers or thumbs. Symphalangia occurs when an individual has stiff fingers or thumbs because of fusion of the bones, and hemimelia is the absence of half of a limb.
The children we work with will likely have a varied group of healthcare professionals to support them in their limb difference, such as pediatricians, prosthetists, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, and social workers. This just goes to say we are not healthcare professionals and we never want to assume a doctor role in the children or families' lives.
At the Helping Hand Project, we make recreational prosthetics, which are different from traditional prosthetics because traditional prosthetics come from real doctors and they're medically certified and they're more functional and durable than the ones that we 3D print for free here.
People with limb differences are not defined by their difference. Helping Hand Project seeks to celebrate every child's unique personality and encourage them to celebrate themselves by showing them they are not alone with their limb difference. We like to use people first language, which recognizes the person first rather than the disability or limb difference. For example, you may say a person with epilepsy rather than calling someone epileptic. When interacting with people, we do not want to make their disability their identity, but we also do not want to ignore it.
The following terms avoid acknowledgement of disability and should not be used. These terms are handicapped, differently abled, and special needs. Instead, we want to use the people first language that was described in the previous slide. We also want to avoid victim and hero language. This occurs when an individual praises someone who has a limb difference when they complete a task only because of their limb difference. This also occurs when someone is using language that suggests that someone suffers from, is a victim, or struggles with limb difference.
When interacting with members of the upper limb difference community, not everyone will use the same terms to describe themselves or their limb difference. Use the term limb difference until told what they prefer. A person's story about their limb difference can include trauma, or they may feel uncomfortable talking about it. Avoid using personal questions, but listen attentively if they choose to share. Ultimately, just be mindful and respectful in your interactions.
And it is important to note that although the Helping Hands Project is not a healthcare organization and is not delivering healthcare or advertise ourselves as doing so to families, we still follow HIPAA. This assures that we respect the privacy of families, and it also helps us gain their confidence and trust. This is important to note when posting on social media. No personal information should be shared online, and only images of children whose parents have signed photo consent forms should be posted. If unsure, you can always ask an officer.
Thank you for watching.